Hey guys, I'm Chef Dean Max. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to do a super simple yakitori of skirt steak. Sounds complicated, right? But I'm going to make it easy. If you're not following me, click subscribe. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and ring that bell and you'll see more stuff coming up in the future. So we'll see you back in a second. Okay guys, let's get started on this. So yakitori is basically just, skewered meats or can be vegetables too, and they're cooked over charcoal. So I'm going to just show you, you probably can do this over charcoal. You can do this over your gas grill, however, but I'm going to show you kind of some tricks in that. And I'm also going to show you how to marinate this. So we're going to use a skirt steak today. I'm going to marinate it. I've got some green onions here, you can see. Now the green onions I want to put on the skirt steak too, so they're going to go on the skewers. So I'm going to probably cut these about the length I'm going to make my cuts of meat. So I would say if I cut my onions like this, right? So I want it to probably be about that long. So I'm going to cut those and I'm going to put these to the side, okay? And we're going to use those later when we skewer these. Now, right now though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up these green onions. And the tops of the green onions, they have nice flavor. They have a little bit stronger flavor. So I think they're better when you marinate those with the meat and less when you actually eat those yourself. I like them marinated like that. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to take our skirt steak here. Let me show you that. So this skirt steak here I have, right? Now this one's been cleaned. You can see it doesn't really have any skin on top of it. It's been peeled off. Now, if you buy this whole in the store, like a whole one, sometimes it'll come with a skin on top. What's really cool about it is that you can just peel it off. Most of the time in the grocery store, if you buy cuts of it, for your butcher, it's going to already be peeled and cleaned like this. And you can ask your butcher to peel it and clean it. Now, with it being peeled and cleaned like this, I'm only going to need to cut this thing probably in half because I'm going to skewer this through. So I would say we're going to make them about this long, right? So I've got these two cuts like that long. That's perfect. Okay, I'm going to stick those in here. Or actually, I'll stick them back on my plate. Now, over here, what I want to do is I want to clean these onions really good because green onions have a lot of little, areas for them to get dirt. So make sure you clean them. So I'm going to wash those and I'll be right back. Now, I'm back and I've got these clean. And what I want to do is now I want to get some garlic on there. I want to get some ginger on there. So for that, it's easy enough for me just to use these little plates. I have this little kind of scraping plate. If you don't have this, you can just mince the garlic up really small, put it in a garlic press, whatever you have that works. What I like about these plates, you can find them online too, they're pretty easy. And you just scrape on those little knobbies on the plate. And what it does is it really gives you this beautiful paste. Now, what I do is hold the end of the garlic here where you can see the stem right here. And what I do is I end up getting this beautiful paste like this. So it turns out awesome. So again, you just hold your garlic and scrape it and just really quickly, it will become a paste. So it's a really nice way to do it. And those pieces of garlic right there, you just would discard like that. And then, you know what, I'm looking at this and I've got 4 pieces here, but I think it's kind of too much. I think just 3 is going to be fine. So what I want to do is use my little brush here. Comes with a little handy brush, so you don't actually cut your fingers on this little knobbies, and then you just scrape it off. Now, I want to do the same thing with ginger. Now, I've cleaned the ends of the ginger here like this, and I'm going to do the same thing. So probably like a 1/2 inch of ginger. Scrape down like this. Now you see that beautiful paste it makes? Oh, I can stick it on here too. Scrape it. Like that. And what I end up with is the same amount of garlic I have ginger paste. So ginger paste, garlic paste, like that, green onion. Now, the rest is all liquids. So we've got, well, we actually have a little bit of brown sugar. I'm going to put probably a little, I have a little turbinado here. You can use brown or turbinado sugar. I'm going to put on like it's probably about 1 tablespoon of sugar. That sweetness in that raw sweetness, it has that molasses still in it. That's going to give this a really nice flavor. And later what I do is after I marinate this, I take the marinated liquid and I cook it down, and then I use that as a kind of like a brushed base at the end. So here we're going to put a little bit of sesame oil. It's like 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. And we're going to put 1/4 cup of like a rice wine, regular rice wine that you might have, sake. If you don't have sake, you can put a little white wine, but I love to use sake on this. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put nice soy in here. Let me get the top of this open. Helps when you open the top, right? And you're going to put about a 1/2 cup of soy sauce. I use this is called thin soy sauce, but you can also use low sodium soy sauce. And that's going to, it's just not going to give you so much overwhelming salt on your dish. I'm just going to mix this in like this. I want my sugar and all of that to be nicely mixed, right? And then I'm going to put in my beautiful skirt steak into this and just let it saturate into there. Now, you can marinate this, probably at least a couple hours before. I like to do 2 to 4 hours, okay? And then we're going to just let that marinate. Now, this is going to marinate, and I'm going to put this in the fridge, and we're going to come back in a couple hours, and we're going to finish this up. So I'll see you back in a little while. Okay, guys, we let this marinate. I actually let it marinate overnight, this flank, and now we're going to show you how to skewer it. So I've got my clean pieces of green onion here, and what I want to do is just cut the rubber bands off, and then I just want to pick through this a little bit, so we take off any of these pieces of kind of, outer layers that are just a little bit slimy or whatever they are. We want this to be super crisp, super clean. And then I rinsed these already of all dirt, so there's no dirt going on in these at all. They're all trimmed basically the same size here. So sometimes you need to take like a towel to do this because it's a little soft. So like this, you see, I just like with a towel or a paper towel, or you can use a kitchen towel, either one. See like this piece here, let's pull that off. Okay, now what I did was, and that's probably going to be enough right there. I'll just do those if I need them, but I don't think I do. So now, put these to the side. Okay, and then I've got my work surface here. I've got the flank steak. Now the flank steak I pulled out, and I put the juice back here. So the juice is here. You guys can see it. It's simmering down. That's all the soy, the sake, the mirin, all of that gets cooked down. Now, this is the length of the skirt. So let me try to show you guys better how that looks. Okay, so like this, here's the length. So we're going to do this in probably 3 pieces like this, right? So we've got one here, and one here, right? Now, what you do, once you have it cut that way, now when you grill a skirt steak, you actually cut it against the grain. So if you've cut it this way to trim it, you're going to cut it this way, right, to make your steak. So I want to cut these in kind of bite-sized chunks, and I'll show you what that bite-size means in a second. Okay, so you're going to take your skirt steak. I cut it at a side angle like that, right, against the grain. Now it's going to be the most tender. Now I'm going to put in between each layer, I'm going to put a green onion. Actually, you could put probably 3 green onions here. I think that's probably a good length like that. let's see if we can put 4, right? So we put 4 like this. Now, I'm going to take my skewer, and I'm going to go right through my meat, and I want to go through. Now these skewers, I've just put those in water as well, so you kind of have to, do this at an angle. Otherwise your skewers will break like that. I've got really long skewers too here. See, I broke that one, so let's use another one. It's going to happen, right? Accidents happen. So you basically, see how these are flat? Okay, skewer goes through. Don't put too much force. You know what I need to do is I need to move this, watch this, closer to the edge of my cutting board. That gives me the ability to kind of, get in there a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to get in there like this, and I want to cut that, right? And then I want to get through this piece of meat, and then into the green onion again, then this piece of meat, into the green onion again, okay, and then through this piece of meat, like that, and then into the green onion, okay, like this, okay, and that's what I'm going to do. See now how that's all in there and tight? So I got my first one there. That works good. Right now, you can decide if you're going to do 2 skewers. Sometimes when you're cutting stuff, it's nice to do 2 skewers. It gives you a little bit more stability than having 1. So I like to do sometimes 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and skewer all of this, and then you guys will be back in a second. So now you can see, like in this first one I have, right, you could trim these if you want. Like you could actually trim off the edges to be perfect. But what we're going to do is cut in between these like this and like this, right? And the perfect ones are going to be like this. You're going to get these beautiful cut marinated harami steak, this skirt steak. And if you want, like I said, like this piece, if you're doing this at home, it depends, you can cut these pieces off like this, and then you can make this piece here, don't waste that, make yourself a little omelet with the scraps. So this way, if you're having a party, right, then you could do that. Now, if you're not, then don't worry, just actually serve it with the rough edges. It's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect like that. But, if you're trying to impress people, this obviously looks a lot nicer. So we're going to take this. We're going to finish this up. I'm going to take this, and we're going to put this out on the grill. And I'm going to show you how we grill it, okay, and the way to set your grill up. So I'll see you back in a second. Okay, I've got the skewers here. Let's get these down on the grill. You see how I put like some foil here? The reason you do that is you don't want to burn your skewers off. So you kind of put the meat right next to that, like that. You put another one here, there, and you tuck it so the skewer doesn't really touch, like this. Right? Put a few pieces here, like this. The foil is going to be hot, but it won't burn your stick at least. See, I did some short ones too. So you can do them long or short. The cool thing about doing meat versus chicken is it's not going to take as long with the meat. So you'll see. So the key with this is you want to make sure that you're not, letting the flame isn't coming up and burning them. So your charcoal shouldn't be burning them. Otherwise you can fan it to cool it down a little bit. So here, I want to see what's going on. I flip this over. You see how that's nice char on that? And this is skirt steak, so you don't need to cook this, like way overcook it, right? And then I'm going to do this one here. If you pull at it and if it's still sticking, that means it's not ready to come off yet. So just wait for it. Okay, you can see how beautiful these look. They're getting a nice sear on them. The onions are cooking really well. Okay, They're going to be almost done. They don't take much longer than that. Like a couple minutes on each side. Okay, guys, we're back from being outside with the grill. So some of the things about the grill, when you have the grill, there's the best obviously to use with this is if you have a yakitori grill or like a more narrow grill and with charcoals, it's easier with skewers like that. If not, you can do like I did and put foil down on your regular grill outside. If you have to use a gas grill, that's fine, don't worry about it. But if you have charcoal, this is great on charcoal, the flavor that that the charcoal gives the meat. But just do it, even if you don't, make it happen. So when you put it on, again, with steak, you don't have to worry because you're cooking it a lot less time. If you're doing chicken, you've got to keep turning it. Sometimes I actually brush it with the marinade or put it into the marinade and then back on the grill about halfway through to keep it moist, keep it seasoned, let it get a kind of sweet char on there. But with steak, it's so fast and it's already been marinated that I just grill it and then I pull it off and then I baste it. So that's what we're going to do here. You can see how kind of thick this is. I'll draw, and then I'm just going to brush that on my beautiful skewers here. Now the wonderful thing is the green onion is going to give such a nice flavor. Something about grilled green onions, people just don't eat them like that enough, and they're just fantastic. So, with this, just make sure that you're, grilling to your temperature. I like to do this kind of medium rare. You could do it medium if you want. Just go a little bit longer, okay? But having a nice high heat so you char it really good works out really well. Now, what do you put with this? I would say you do grilled vegetables. So eggplant, zucchini, things like that. Maybe make some rice with this dish and serve these beautiful grilled vegetables. Why? Because when I put the grill on, I like to get everything done out there. So if I have a starch like rice on the side, I can put that in I can put that on my Instapots or something like that, have that doing separately, and everything I'll do on there. I do that because if you make charcoal, you don't really want to waste the charcoal on just grilling that. Grill everything that you need. And what I do a lot of times when I'm doing charcoal too, because I don't do it every day, is I'll think about what I want to eat in the next couple days that could be good charcoal. And that could even be like whole eggplants that you stick on there and charcoal grill those until they're really blackened, and then you peel them, and that inside is beautiful. And that's like a real baba ganoush. You take that out, you chop that up, you mix it with olive oil, a little garlic, a little parsley. It's amazing. So try that. But look at these, beautiful, right? So let's try them out. The beautiful thing about when you cut it this way, each one is individually cut, right? And it looks really manicured, right? So when you're eating it at the barbecue, you can just stand around and eat these. They're great. You don't need to put any salt on it because this is salty enough, sweet enough. It's going to have that, that sake in there too, beautiful flavor. That's really good. This kind of yakitori, so simple. You can do it with a million things. Chicken, lamb, chicken skin, chicken thighs, all types of beef, pork. The list goes on. And it's always so fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like to give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, shoot me some questions. Questions about anything that you can think about with cooking, and I'll be happy to answer this for you. So I'll see you back in the kitchen soon. I'm Chef Dean Mex.